Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be story time, and it is the story of how Bandit, I guess you could say, saved me. I don't think he really saved my life, but he definitely helped me. So my roommate was at work. This is during the middle of the day. I live in a very small town. I mean, the size of the town as far as the space and the land that the town is in and is owned by the town is actually pretty big. But the size as far as population is pretty small. We don't even have 25,000 people here. So it's a pretty small town, and it's actually, well, used to be pretty safe. Now it's a bit not as safe. So I used to leave the front door unlocked during the day. I locked it at night, of course, but during the day, I didn't think anybody would just go walking up into somebody's house during the middle of the day. Apparently, I was wrong, though. So it's during the day. It's about 2, 1 o'clock ish, and I'm here in my room. I was reading. My dog Bandit was in his cage over there, chewing on a toy or sleeping or something. And he sat up all of a sudden and started making his growling noise. And I heard the front door open. And for some reason, he really does not like my roommate. My roommate has never done anything to him, but he just does not like him for some unknown reason. I think it's because the person that had him before us that severely mistreated him looks and or sounds like my roommate, and so Bandit doesn't like him. At any rate, so thinking it was just my roommate coming home from work, I didn't think much of it. I just told him to shut up. Well, normally my roommate will go, when he comes home, he'll go and get like a drink of soda or something from his refrigerator in the kitchen, and then he comes to go into his room, which is right down the hall from mine. And of course, Bandit makes his growling and woof, 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 noise. Um, but this day, that didn't happen. I didn't see him. I didn't hear my roommate, but I did hear noise in the kitchen, and Bandit was still standing up in his cage in a sit position, just staring towards my bedroom door, growling. And so I was like, okay, gonna see what's going on. So I went and I grabbed my pepper spray that I carry in my purse, and I took it with me in my hand, and I went into the kitchen, and as I started to turn the corner of one of the walls, that's the wall that's in there, that goes right to my refrigerator, I can see this lady that is in the refrigerator, bent over, going through the refrigerator. I don't know who she is. I don't know her name. She's definitely not a friend or a family member. And my friends and family wouldn't do that, just come walking up in my house. So, she was a black lady. That's all I could tell right away. And I was kind of dumbfounded. Like, what is this? Here's some unknown lady going through my refrigerator in my house in broad daylight. What incarnation? So I stood there for probably about 15, 20, maybe even 30 seconds, just dumbfounded like a deer in headlights, what's going on here? So finally I did manage to say, can I help you? And obviously I startled her because she just jerked and turned and looked at me and was like, what are you doing in my house? Get out of my house. And I stood there like, your house? And so I'm like, your house? Ma'am, I think you're confused. Now, Bandit at that time was standing next to me, off to the side where apparently the lady couldn't couldn't see him. And he, at that point, he walked away and went into the living room. And I'm like, where are you going? And I still have my pepper spray in my hand, so I'm not all that worried about it. So I, like, where are you going? And, well, it turns out that he was going a roundabout way into the kitchen, because you can go through another way in the living room and from the hallway that my roommate's bathroom is on the other side of the house, and get into the kitchen from that little hallway in there. That's so he had went around and was basically coming up on the lady from behind because she was turned facing me. And he came up behind her and he just, he did that low, mean growl. And she turned and looked behind her and was like, oh my God, and flew out the front door. She just went right out the front door. Bandit did not follow her or move or anything. I went to the door and I locked the door, and then I shut the other door behind it. So I locked the screen door and then I shut the other door behind it. And I'm like, what the hell? What is this? It was just so crazy. I couldn't believe it. Now when I am home by myself, I do lock the door during the day because I don't want another one of those things happening. I guess I was wrong, definitely was wrong with thinking that nobody's not going to come walking in the house in broad daylight. Apparently, that's not true because that lady did. I have no idea if the lady was on drugs or if she was crazy or drunk or a mixture of those things. We do have a lot of crazy people in our town, and I just don't know. I mean, that something was definitely off with this lady, because I mean, who just goes walking up in somebody else's house in broad daylight and thinks it's their house? That's just crazy. So, but again, I was not harmed in any way. I didn't really feel threatened at the time. I was more of surprised and shocked, like, what's going on here? So, and of course, Bandit, other than doing that low, mean growl, he did not show any aggression. He didn't, like, try to chase her down or anything. He just stood there. So, I guess you could say he did save me, because, I mean, who knows, the lady could have decided to attack. We do have some pretty crazy people in our town, as I've said. So, I don't really call him a hero for that, but maybe some of you guys will say he's a hero. I kind of think he was just doing what he was supposed to do. But, I mean, he did help me out, that's for sure. And I'm definitely grateful that I had him with me. So, well, that's the story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to hear more story time videos, because, I mean, I have a ton of stories, I really do, from way back in my younger childhood days, like when I was like 4, 5, 6, that sort of thing. I have stories from there, and then I have stories when I was a teenager, and I have stories from my younger adult days. So I have a ton of stories. I could probably make a whole channel on story time alone. So again, that's the story. If you enjoyed it and want to see more story time videos, go ahead and comment those down below. And we hope to see you again. Remember to like and subscribe if you already haven't subscribed. Remember to share the video, and we'll see you next time. Gotta fly.